Hello, I'm the ghost that should be running away from you instead of his own problems, Leo, and welcome to In Bed with a BL. Today, in favor of Halloween, we're going to go over something truly horrible. No, not that. Spooky. Sorry, spooky in a fun way. Yes, we're going to go over Ghost Runner, a Thailand BL that came out in last year, 2020, and I don't think it gets the fun recognition that it deserves. It is actually a really, really fun romp. It's not the best thing ever. The production is pretty low, but it's like really fun and enjoyable. And if you're up for something campy and silly, it's definitely a must-watch. I never heard of it until I found it randomly on Gagaoolala, which is kind of one of the benefits of having like a gay streaming service, because you can find these random hidden gems that you might not see on Instagram or talked about that much. Like, I have never heard of anyone mention this except for me on forums. And a lot of the actors are really hard to find, so I'll have to post like the cast credits, a picture of them, because finding the names of anything besides the main three love triangle was almost impossible. So yeah, so it's not that well known, and maybe you can watch my video and talk about it more and get some recognition, because even though this is not a great BL, it's pretty great, and it's spooky. So let's get down to it. The main plot of the story is we have students. I'm not sure if they're high school or college students. It's not really talked about that much, but a lot of the actors are like their mid to late 20s, so I'm guessing college, which is good because we have handsome, attractive people that I don't have to feel uncomfortable about liking because they're adults. So we have college kids. They're also at an abandoned college. This has some pretty weird tropey stuff already. Like, hey, we're gonna ship these young adults to this abandoned facility where there once was a murder mystery, maybe, and there's no telephone and nothing works that great, and they don't even live in hotel rooms. They live in like, they're sleeping in like old classrooms on mats. So the whole vibe already is like really weird and uncomfortable. This might be something that happens. I've never been to a track field or sports getaway, so maybe this is not that weird. But in the beginning, I'm like, oh, this is already kind of weird, and some of these silly decisions that a horror movie or TV show people would be actually making. So that's kind of cool. And luckily, our main character, Mo, he is new to everybody, so that gives us an introduction to all the characters, which is very helpful because there are a ton of characters. One of the positives about this show is that even though there are a lot of characters, the writing actually gives them, and even the acting in some situations, but like the story actually gives them enough like independent qualities, or at least something that I watched this a long time ago, but I could still remember each character. I kind of forgot some of their names, but I'm like, oh, that's the girl who does this, and that's the boy who does this. And a lot of BLs have a lot of like fodder characters that are just there to like make the episodes longer for no reason, and they're completely pointless, but they kind of all mesh together decently well. So I'm gonna say this a lot, like, even though the production of this is not that great, it's pretty good, and for like the money they had and production quality they had, the story is pretty decent, and I give it a lot of props for being a step above most BL that I've seen, actually. So that's pretty cool. So anyways, Mo is introduced, and it's a track and field training week or two. A lot of the background information is a little foggy. Like, I don't know why they're doing this, how Mo got involved. They also have some random guy from China who I feel really bad for him, because in the lunch scenes he always sits by himself, and people talk about how his Thai is really bad and he speaks gibberish and nonsense. So I kind of feel bad for him. He's like the number one, the best person, but he's also not mean and rude about it. So he's really enjoyable. So that's like his thing. Like I said, each character has their own thing. But anyways, our main character, Mo, is he's there, he's introduced to everybody. We have the director, we have the assistant director, and then we have like these two people who protect them, do relations. The adults there are kind of, I don't know what their point was or why they're there, but they're there. They do stuff. They do lots of paperwork and stay up late for reasons. What, I don't know how much paperwork is involved every single day for a track week, but administration. But you meet everybody. Then Mo meets Link, who is his love interest. He's the guy in the poster that he's supposed to love. This is one of those stories where I don't understand the main love interest pairing, because Link seems fine. Him and his boyfriends, him and his man friends make a lot of like weird amateurish jokes about like werewolves. Like, is there a werewolf in the woods? Ha 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 ha. That's hilarious. Whatever. But Link meets Mo, and he makes like a weird joke that maybe in Thai has more implications or more meaning to it, but it makes no sense. And then Mo hates him, and he's like, I don't like you. And then we go through the whole show, and Mo just doesn't like him until like episode 6 or 7, where he's like, oh, I like you a lot now. So, okay. And then he meets all the other characters, blah, blah, blah. They're cool, they're interesting, they do their own thing. I don't know why the girls are there, because they make it a point to say like, oh, the girls are too small to be track stars in general, which is, because we also have Lada. We have Lada, who's like the female director lady, who's like, I wish we could have more girls. And they're like, no, girls are dumb or something. But there's girls there, and they're all like timekeepers. I don't know why we need like 5 timekeepers. And they do like the stretching and exercising. They do a lot of training in this. But I don't know like what they're doing there besides like giving hijinks and relationship woes, whatever. But anyways, so Link and Mo, their relationship makes no sense, whatever. Then Mo is kind of an outsider, and he wakes up early on day 1. I like that they do like the day 1, day 2, day 3. It kind of gives it a more like horror movie feel. I don't know. It was kind of interesting. But then he wakes up early. I think it's like 5 in the morning they wake up, and he sees a mysterious runner. I wonder who that can be in the show called Ghost Runner. We don't learn his name, and he's very standoffish, but Mo's like, I'm into this. And then we find out that's the ghost. His name is Pound sometimes, and sometimes Pond, but I like his name being Pound because that's kind of funny. Mo likes Pound. Mo likes pounding. Gay jokes are hilarious. But then we get our gay love triangle of Link, the boy Mo hates, and then a ghost of a dead boy. And Mo's like, who do I have? Who do I do? I don't know. But that's already interesting. Like I said, this is not a generic, hey, I'm a freshman bottom in college, and you're a top who's older than me and most likely will physically, sexually, or verbally assault me. I love you. Let's get in a relationship, even though it shouldn't happen anyways. And so at least this has like no awkward connotations, and it's interesting. It's a new concept, which tons of props. Anyways, he meets all the people, and we meet like Boat and Chin, who are like the man friends, and turn out to be the side couple. I was really into this because I didn't know there's gonna be a side couple, and they're like tradition. They're so much better than the real couple. First of all, Chin is really hot. He's like a model, and he even does stuff for like skiinmode. And if you don't know skiinmode is like sexy modeling, where it's actually kind of cool. Like, don't look it up if you're not old enough, because there's usually a lot of penis. But the art person, the photographer does a lot of like old Asian motifs, like warriors and samurai, but makes it like sexy and lots of like flesh. So that was cool. I don't think he did nudity stuff, but it was still cool, and I was like, wow. I found out when I was looking him up. So definitely look up that photographer. if you're old enough and if you want to see stuff like that, because it's really cool. He does a lot of cool like weapon work and Halloween stuff. He even has like Dragon Ball Z ones, which is kind of random. Anyways, I digress. Chin is the big, muscular, dumb himbo guy, and he suggests that there is a building that is sealed off by talismans. And he's like, let's pull off the talismans and hold a seance, because that is always a good idea when you're in the middle of a forest at an abandoned university where people died. Obs. So they do that, they hold a seance, and what do you know? A ghost appears and ghost stuff happens. That's fun. This show gets like really campy, especially when the ghost stuff happens. There's a lot of like zooming in on people just going ah, and not much else happening. The terror scenes, that's the thing. This kind of show, you have to be on board with just the silliness. I love campy stuff, so this was fun for me. I was like, oh god. And a lot of the actors, I think they're brand new because I couldn't find too much information about them, but a lot of them are really okay with just like going for it. Like later on, two or three characters end up being possessed. Ooh. And they just like go for it. The first one who gets possessed, she's like, spoiler, it's one of the girls. She goes for it and it's just like super silly and weird. The makeup's not too bad. And I was just like, you just get in for the ride. And like I said, it's not a generic, you're a boy, I'm a boy, and we're in college. I like you, maybe. I don't know. So that was fun. Then once they do the seance, like this dangerous ghost stuff starts happening. Mo is nervous that it's his ghost boyfriend that he likes to run with in the morning, and he starts being iffy because of mystery reasons. We also learn that Irene wants to get with Chin, but Ploy and her friend Mei Prong go to Irene and try to trick her into running with the ghost, pretty much to kill her so Ploy can get with Chin. So I like that casual, like, hey, I like a boy someone else likes, let's just murder her. I like some casual murder plots. That was fun. I like that none of the girls try to murder the gay people. That's gold stars right there. Fun fact, these two girls are fighting over Chin, but we learn in like episode 4 or 5, Chin likes Boat, who is one of Link's friends. That was super duper cute. I really like this relationship. They're cool. You got like the shy, meek, like he has bravado of being the silly boy, but he's really shy when it comes to relationships. And Chin, who's like the big dumb himbo. And Chin is like a pretty solid dude. Like there's even a scene like later on when like ghost stuff is happening where like Boat's in danger and Chin like, I was like, oh my god, he's gonna run. He's gonna be like, you know what, I don't love you anyways, you're not a real person. But like Chin defends him and saves him from a ghost. It's like, we need more boyfriends like Chin that will just save people from ghosts. That's awesome. Here are some benefits of the show. No girl sacrifice. Awesome. Mea Prong tries to kiss Bo at one point because she apparently likes him. Everyone has like a relationship coupling that they're like, oh, I like you now. But he's like, I'm uncomfortable. And she's like, you know what? I'm happy I did this. And that's it. Like, no one tries to destroy each other, which is good. There's a ghost trying to kill people, so there's like a bigger problem, which I like. Like, the reason why people can't be together is like the murder ghosts and not people like hating gay people. So I'm always happy when there's a story where people can just like be gay and it just like they're just there and there's like a bigger plot and they can't be gay together because of something else. So, though Mo doesn't want to be with Link because Mo hates him for some reason, and then they get together. Whatever. We have no girl sacrifice. We have an awesome side couple. The original story, it's spooky. There's not that many spooky gay stories. There's a couple now happening, but this one's just like a fun one. It's fun and cute, romantic. I dig it. The story is decent and there's some intrigue. There's a pretty cool twist at the end, and it gets kind of dark, which I was not expecting. So I was like, that's kind of fun. I will say that toward the end, how they solve everything was kind of weak, but the story of the ghost was actually kind of interesting and really sad, and which also makes the ending kind of annoying because you're like, oh, maybe it should have been handled a little differently. But it was still kind of cool. Nothing is like suspect or really that offensive. There is kind of with the boy director guy relations, Kru Song Chai, but he wants everyone to call him Kru Song Ying. So I think that's like a be like more feminine, and people are not. There's like a joke where they're not saying his chosen name, so that's kind of annoying. And like the whole like, oh look, it's like the more femmy guy. It's a joke that he wants to be more femmy or something. But I could be reading that. I'm not fully quite understanding of that, and the fan base of this show is not big, so it's hard to find information. So it could have been something else. So that's like the only thing that's kind of awkward, and I could be wrong. But other than that, there's no like toxic relationships. There's nothing weird going on besides the weird ghost. So that's cool. I think it's a pretty positive story. Reasons why you might not like it is the quality is not that great. The episodes probably could be shorter to like 25-30 minutes. They're 45-minute episodes. There is still, even though there's a lot of characters and those are fine, there's still like a lot of fluff. Like episode 6 is, I would say like 50% or more is just the slow motion race and people's faces zooming in and out of it. There's a race because they're track practicing and this race is important, but it's just with them, so I don't know why. But that happens, and it didn't need to happen. There's plots that don't make sense, like Mo has all these dreams that he's like naked walking in the forest, and I think it's just so they can have Mo be naked in a forest with appropriate shadowing. But I was like, what's this? Does he have a psychic link? Is he connected to one of the ghosts? Is there something? Nothing happens with this. Like there's no, I don't understand what's with all of it. It makes no sense, except for you have a guy with a good body walking through the forest naked. So hooray, skinship, I guess. His relationship with Link makes no sense. They're like, oh, I love you now. Him and Pound were a lot more interesting because he had intrigue. What happened to Pond and Pound was interesting. So there's that. So anyways, I give this a solid 7 out of 10. I give it major props. The quality is not good. You're gonna watch this and probably be like, wow, this isn't that great. But the story is original enough and people went for it. And like I said, even though there's a lot of characters, I'm able to remember like all of them easily enough. I can't remember all their names, but I remember like each character what they did. To the point where the janitor even had a niece, Phi, who I thought was going to be important. She's like this nerdy girl, and she's like, I know all about astrology, and I'm a nerd. And then she just kind of like walks off into the darkness. I don't know. She just like disappears. So there's like a lot of random. Oh, and there is a really interesting the cute straight boy Tan. I feel bad because he loves Irene and he keeps getting overlooked. And even at the end, when he tries to like be tough in front of the ghost just does not even care. He gets beaten down this whole series, and I felt so bad for him. Poor Tan. Poor Tan. So yeah, I definitely recommend this. The easiest way to watch it is Gagaoolala. I don't know where else you can watch it, but you should. It's spooky, it's fun, there's a ghost. There's not that many ghosts. I was gonna talk more about like He's Coming to Me, but I think everybody knows that because is in it and Sungto is in it, and they're really popular, and Om got like really hot for it, which is weird because I remember him for Make It Right when he was Frame, and he was like a little child, and now he's in a new show now too, and he's like really muscular, and it's weird. Watch the show. It's fun. It's cute. It could be too long, but it's worth a shot. I want this to get more popular. Also, so the actors can maybe be more things, especially Chin. You should tell all the studios to hire Chin. He's so handsome. And Chinboat is a really good side couple. Anyways, happy Halloween. Hope you get lots of candy and you dance and you get to wear slutty and you don't get too annoyed seeing too many Squid Game costumes. But hope you have a good Halloween. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.